Welcome to Life Mastery for Women. I'm your host, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. I've been studying mind mastery and emotional management and energy work and its connection to spirituality for over 25 years. And in this podcast, I help guide you out of your daily struggles in life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality. Life is hard, but your daily growth doesn't have to be. Join me 3 times a week as I lead you inward on a healing, connecting, and creating journey. Let's go get that nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I'm finding you releasing your triggers. If you're not releasing your triggers, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Or I don't know, maybe today I'm going to give you a whole bunch of nuggets. I am going to say again, which I say in a lot of my podcast episodes, is I love this topic. I love this topic. I love doing this work. This is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about, but also coach people through and releasing your triggers. I do this myself all the time. I was just having a conversation with Amy this morning via text while she's at work. Don't tell anybody. And she's talking about this thing that's frustrating her. And so I'm asking all these questions. I'm like, you know what? That is a podcast episode. And I think I'm almost positive I've done a podcast or two about this particular topic. But like I said, it's one of my favorites because it's so easy to uncover the trigger. And I'm going to walk you through the steps and some of the questions. So go get your journal. But it is so easy to uncover the trigger, which gives you such great insight to yourself. And I don't know about you, but having more insight about myself helps my own personal growth in ways that I connect with others. So the more I can learn about myself and the more I can release those triggers, the deeper my connections are with others. And I don't know how important that is to you, but it is important to me. And I can be pretty abrasive and isolated, in times when I'm feeling emotional, and that can be very frustrating for people around me, but it was something that I've learned. However, and it was a coping mechanism for something that a coping mechanism that I basically adopted when I was younger because I couldn't win the argument. So I would just simply walk away and stew in that anger. Well, eventually that became kind of part of who I was, is this person who walks away. And I know that would frustrate other people, but I began to really understand that if I stay, it's going to get ugly. And I didn't want that to happen. So, but then when I got to working with energy, like in the middle of, I don't know, it's like 2013, when I really started diving into energy work and the subconscious mind and understanding emotions and their attachment energetically, and then the mind separate from the subconscious mind, and really diving into what does that mean and how do I work with basically these neurological machinery, these parts of our brain, sometimes I call them faculties, but this neurological understanding of how our mind works, how our body works, how does the connection between the two, how do I think versus our emotional state, and then what do I do about it? I know this maybe is just going over your head, but when it comes to our thinking and our emotions, that is where things get really interesting. And once you can understand that your emotions are energy and they are fueled by your thoughts, and now if I basically begin the process of waking up to my thinking, what are my thoughts? What are my beliefs? What are my triggers? And then working at that level, shit starts getting real. Like things really start shifting and changing. And that's when magic starts happening. And I think that this is one of the best topics to start with, is when you're beginning energy work, I guess at some level, though, you can definitely take this deeper, but is really start working at this level to uncover your blocks, your triggers, your beliefs, your limiting beliefs specifically around certain topics. So you take a certain topic in your life and you go, what do I believe about this? Or a topic that you're really having trouble with. Let's say it's your health, or it's your money, or it's your joy. Is what do I believe about this? What are my beliefs about money or relationships or joy in my career or job or my giving back? What are my beliefs about these things? And then once you can understand your beliefs, you're like, well, no kidding why I'm having such a struggle. I believe it can't happen for me. Well, when you're working at energy, what you send out is what comes back. And if I'm sending out the belief of I'm never going to get it, or why bother, or it's never going to work for me, well, then do you now understand that in that victim mentality, that's why it's not working? So I want to walk you through a process of uncovering the trigger. A lot of times I have clients who I work with and I've worked with in the past that finally come to the realization that it is up to me. If my life is to change or improve or get better, it is up to me. When you get to that decision, that's when you are at the point of this realization that the environment and the people that are in your life are not here to create your joyous experience. Even though we want that to happen, and we manipulate people, the environment, the situation, our work. We try to kink and force and coerce, and it just doesn't work. And it will never work, because that is not how energy works. You are walking around and experiencing a reflection of your internal state. And so picture basically you carrying like a full-length mirror around, and that mirror is connected to you, and it has embedded your energy, your beliefs, your thoughts about things, your triggers, everything, your whole entire energy state, and that it gets reflected out into the world through people, through your environment, through situations, through your circumstances that you're currently facing. And if we begin to shift and change our inner state, and not the inner state for you that have road rage, but your inner state of being, your outer situation begins to change drastically and quickly, because it's a mere reflection. So that's where I work, is dealing with basically the inner state of being, helping you to clean that up, clear up that energy, so you can begin to walk through a different reflection, okay? I do that through a coaching program that's called Rise Up. And in that coaching program, I have clients where we uncover those triggers, those limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk, the emotional pain. We get to the bottom of it. We release that energy, that stuck energy that's in your system that is being reflected out into your environment. And we do a lot of teaching and different tools and techniques. So you begin to do this on your own, but you begin to have conversations with me to customize that for you. Because right now, as I'm going to walk you through this, you can do a lot of healing through the episodes on my podcast, but you can do a lot more and a lot faster if you're in a coaching program with me. So if that is anything that's interesting to you, is to be a part of my Rise Up group coaching program. I have them beginning sporadically throughout the year. And so you can send me an email. You can join one of my groups, and I have chats for both of these groups, which is Chakras for Beginners on Facebook and Lady Rising also on Facebook. And you can come in through the membership questions and say, I'm coming in through the podcast, and you can share your email if you want. That's mostly, I don't send a lot of emails. I don't like getting a lot of emails myself, but when I have events coming up and we do a lot of free events. When there's events coming up, then I'll send an email. But I certainly will not blast your email. I don't do that. But you can come in through those two platforms on Facebook, Chakras for Beginners or Lady Rising, and then find the chat or simply make a post and say, hey Jen, or send me a message, or you can friend me on Facebook, Jen Mac, JenMac. And you can send me a message that says, hey, I'm interested in learning more about your Rise Up group coaching program. And then we can set a time and have a conversation. I have them starting at different times throughout the year. So I may be in the middle of running one, and you might have to wait a month or two to start the next one. But we certainly can get you started if it's something you're interested in. So I think as we talk about uncovering the triggers, this, like I said, is one of my favorite topics because it's so powerful. Think about this. Here's a good analogy. All my analogies are good, but here's a good one I just came up with. So if you're carrying around that full-length mirror, and that full-length mirror is connected to your energy body, your emotional state, and your beliefs and your triggers, and it is reflecting out into the world, okay? When you get some smudges on that mirror, it doesn't reflect as brightly as it would if it was clean and clear. Do you like that one? That was a good one. So you could picture it as like a window versus a mirror. I wanted to use the mirror analogy because I want you to understand that it's a reflection, but we could picture it as a mirror, and your light on the inside, if it's clean and clear, through that glass, through the window, it will shine beautiful and bright, lightening up your day and making it so beautiful and so amazing. If there's smudges and gunk on the window, look at what that shadow is going to look like out in your world. As your energy has smudges and your energy has gunk and beliefs and triggers that are preventing, they add like little smudges on the glass. And as that light tries to shine, now look at what the shadow looks like as that light is going to shows little shadows on the ground, right? Or out in your universe. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. So I want to start with one that is a trigger for me that I am releasing, and I will work on it as we go right now on this episode, is talking about living with the kids and their messes that they leave behind. So specifically, Cameron is 14 years old, and he's always like constantly like forward into the next thing. Like he's not very present moment in what he's currently doing. His mind is always in a hurry and always on to the next thing, but not very far out. Is if you have teenagers, especially teenage boys, they're thinking, at least ours and most that I know, their thinking doesn't go very far. It's the next day, that afternoon, maybe the coming weekend, but it's not really that far out. Anyway, and so he's coming in, and he'll make breakfast in the morning, and just watch how this goes. Watch how this whole trigger unfolds and how we work through this whole process. So he'll make breakfast, and he makes eggs, and he sautés onions and mushrooms, and he has waffles sometimes with jelly. And typically in my Jen description, he makes a whole heck of a mess. Now, Amy would sit here and say, okay, and Amy is my partner, and she is the biological mother of the boys. And she will say, okay, now if she was sitting right here, she would go, okay, to be fair, you guys, the mess is not that big. But here's me. Amy makes strawberry jelly from fresh strawberries that are grown locally. And so we end up with like 40 jars or cans. I don't know. They're jars. They're physically jars, but I know when we say like we can stuff, we put them in jar. Anyway, but she makes this absolutely delicious strawberry jam or jelly, and it's amazing and it's lovely, and we all share it. And I'm sorry, we don't share. I don't share in this house. And so we each have a jar. So me, Brandon, and Cameron each have a jar. And we have our initial on a piece of tape on the jar, so we don't, because Cameron doesn't share very well. He will literally eat the whole jar. Now we have frozen jars. When I want some, there isn't any. So that's my life in a nutshell, living with the teenagers. So, and they eat a freaking lot. Anyway, so when I do toast or waffles and use this jelly, I lick the knife. I don't know about you guys. I lick the knife. There is not a speck of jelly that goes and sits in the dish drainer, right? Or the dish pan. Cameron, however, is a little bit different. Now, he does rinse out the eggs out of the pan, but he doesn't lick the knife. So he will put a sticky, jelly-filled knife in my dish pan. It irks me. I don't know about you, but it irks me. So now I have to rinse it off, and I have to pre-clean before I do dishes, before I fill that dish pan with soapy water and jelly, okay? So it frustrates me. And so sometimes I'll call, now if I'm up, usually by the time I'm getting up, they're already gone and off to school and work. And anyway, so this has been a constant battle, but he is, for the most part, he's like 80%. But I don't know if you know me very well. I expect 100%, and I expect perfection. I expect it right this second. Obviously, that's a trigger of mine, right? So here's how this goes. I make this statement, and I make it like this. So I state the problem. In my eyes, I state the problem. I hope you have your journals out. I state the problem. Cameron leaving jelly on the knife or leaving a mess in the kitchen frustrates me. Okay? That's the statement. So you're going to include the thing and you're going to include the emotional state that it puts you in. So getting stuck in traffic really pisses me off. I really hate it when my husband leaves the toilet seat up. It really upsets me that my boss parks in my parking spot, right? So include the thing, the scenario, the traffic, the person, the kitchen, the boss, the way, the thing that bothers you. And then how does it bother you? Like what emotional state does it put you in? Okay, so that's important. So you could write that down. I love journaling these. Sometimes I just use scrap paper or just lined paper or something. But if I am doing this on purpose and I'm going to go through a whole bunch of limiting beliefs or triggers, then I will use my big binder. It's like, not kidding, it's a 3-inch black binder that I use for uncovering limiting beliefs and triggers. So this is doing the work on purpose. This is when I say I'm going into my workshop. That's what I call it. Okay. So you're going to make the statement. So here's mine. We're going to walk you through this process. There's a couple of different ways you can ask to get to the trigger. Cameron leaving a mess in the kitchen really frustrates me. That's the statement. The simple first question to help you uncover the trigger is you could simply ask why. And the second one, also simple, is you could ask because, like that, okay? Cameron making a mess in the kitchen really frustrates me. Why? Because he's not cleaning up his mess. Why? Well, because, like, why does it bother you? Why does it frustrate you? Not why is he doing it? We don't care what his behavior is. We are uncovering the trigger of why does it affect me so much? So him leaving a mess in the kitchen, it really frustrates me. Why? Why does it frustrate you? That's the focus. Not why is Cameron not doing it? We could do both. And try to understand that there's two different elements here. Why are you getting frustrated about it? And why is Cameron doing it? Now, this is not a way for us to now go correct his behavior. This is a way to uncover why it bothers you. Okay? So why does it frustrate me? Well, because let's say it's on his chore board as something to do to clean up the kitchen when he's done making food. Okay, why? Well, it feels like he's not being a person of integrity. Boom. Boom. There it is. Okay, let's do it again. Cameron really frustrates me when he doesn't clean up his mess. Why does it frustrate you? Because I feel like he's, he says he's going to do it and he doesn't. And it frustrates me because I feel like he's not being a man of integrity. When you get all the way to the bottom, right there would be a place where I would interject as a coach that says, boom, there it is, integrity. Then the next question, here's part 2. There's a lot of part 1s. There are different ways to start the ball rolling as to why it upsets you and why it frustrates you, why it triggers you, right? And those are different ways to ask the question. That's kind of all part 1. So asking the why and saying because, right? So it's another way of asking why. Like, it really frustrates me because, well, he doesn't clean up his mess. Because, like, you're frustrated because, well, he's not showing that he's a person of integrity because he says he's going to clean it up, right? Okay, when I uncover that word integrity, that moves us to step 2. Step 2 is, where am I not showing integrity in my life? That's where it turns from the person and the thing, the circumstance, and reflects back inward. We're looking at that circumstance, something about that, something about the traffic, something about your boss, something about your husband or your wife, something about your kids, something about that is a trigger. There's a foundation. And when we go through the steps of asking and getting all the way to the bottom, then it is that foundation that is the reflection of our energy. Okay? So then I ask, where in my life am I not showing integrity? And usually it is a huge aha moment. Now, if it is not an aha moment, then continue to ask why. Go back up to step 1. Okay? So let's try this. Really bothers me in Cameron's when he doesn't clean up the kitchen afterwards. Why? Why does it frustrate you? Well, it just feels like he's being lazy. Oh, boom. Okay, wait. Where am I being lazy? Oh, I don't ever feel lazy, and I don't call this not an aha moment. I don't really feel lazy. I don't ever call myself that. But it bothers me when other people are lazy. Okay, keep going. Why does that bother you? Now, we've kind of moved off of the Cameron topic, but we've uncovered like a part of a trigger. It's kind of like the root system. You know, the tree is the thing you're mad at, but the whole root system is what lies under the dirt that really is your trigger. Okay? So we say, okay, he's being lazy. Okay, boom. Okay, wait. Where am I in my life being lazy? Because you've uncovered something else, okay? You're being like an archaeologist, a triggerologist. I'm going to write that down. A triggerologist. I think that's spelled right. A triggerologist. Oh my God, that was a good one. Write that down. Become a triggerologist. So we've uncovered, let's say, lazy. And I go, okay, where in my life am I being lazy? If that does not really dig out, like you found like a shiny rock. You didn't find a diamond. You found a shiny rock. Where in my life am I being lazy? You're digging. You find this shiny rock and you're like, or this beautiful rock. And you're like, oh, hey, this could be something. You're kind of upon some cleaning it and looking at it. You're like, nah, it's not really that much of anything, right? Keep going then. Okay. So why does being lazy frustrate me? Now we're not even really on the topic of Cameron, but we've uncovered something about ourselves. People who are lazy frustrate me. Okay. Why? Or because people who are lazy frustrate me because they're not doing anything with their lives. Because, or why? Why does that frustrate you? Because they're not living their purpose. Boom. There's another one. Where am I not living my purpose? Where am I being lazy with that? Did I find a shinier rock? Is that an aha moment? Okay, keep going if it didn't. Okay? I'm pretty much living my purpose. You know, I'm at home and I'm coaching and I love my podcast and I'm creating some tools for people to use. I'm communicating with people in our groups. So that's not really it, but something to do with my purpose. I want people to live their purpose. And this, you guys, all comes from Cameron leaving some jelly on a knife. And look at how deep I can go with uncovering my triggers and my own belief systems. Because as soon as I get to this space, it starts to really lighten up the inside of me. And I go, well, man, wow, so lazy people really bother me. Why do they bother me? Because they're not living their life purpose. Where am I not living my life purpose? Maybe I need to be putting more effort or a little bit more clarity into uncovering my life purpose. And now I'm excited. I'm getting chills and I'm living my life purpose. I am getting chills right now, you guys. And all of this came from a knife with jelly on it. See how cool this is? One of my favorite topics. Okay, let's try another one. Let's take traffic. Being stuck in traffic or being stuck behind a slow driver. Okay, so start from the beginning. Make the statement. I really hate it when I am stuck in traffic. Why? Because I can't get somewhere quick enough. Why? Because I want to get things done. Why? Because at the end of the day, I want to feel accomplished. Boom. Okay? Where am I in my life not feeling accomplished? Oh, gosh. Well, there's this to-do list, and maybe I don't get the bills paid on time, or it's right around that time of year. Am I getting my taxes done? Where am I not feeling accomplished at the end of the day? Okay, now we're going to turn this one a little bit. We're going to go into step 3. Okay, so you're going to uncover the block, which is I'm not feeling accomplished in my life. That is totally true. That gives you this aha moment. That is totally true. I don't feel accomplished in my life in whatever area, maybe my health, my money, getting things done at home. Okay. Then you're going to ask the opposite. I don't want to say opposite because I don't want you to ask it that way, but you're going to try to turn that into a positive statement. So you can, when you get to the word accomplished, you're like, yes, that's totally it. Driving in traffic makes me feel where I'm not getting things done because there's only so much time in a day. I have to move at lightning speed in order to feel accomplished at the end of the day. So I'm putting pressure on myself to get things done. Okay. So I need to feel accomplished. Now, we're going to go through the be, do, have, and feel. We're going to add that one. Be, do, have, and feel. You're going to ask it 4 times around the word accomplished. If I was accomplished, who would I become? Who would I be? If I was accomplished, what would I have? If I was accomplished, what would I do? And if I was accomplished, how would I feel? Don't say accomplished. Okay? So, make the statement to uncover the trigger. The trigger is, I don't feel accomplished in my life. And now I'm triggered by traffic. And you might uncover several things that lead to that same thread. Some of these become these big hot buttons for you. Once you can start releasing them, then, my friend, the windows start shining clean and clear and your environment starts picking up. Because if you didn't have that pressure to feel, quote, accomplished, sitting in traffic might give you extra time to listen to your favorite song or your favorite podcast. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay? So you can then say, what would I have? What would I be? Who would I be? What would I have? How would I feel? And start to uncover even more depth about yourself. A lot of times to that introspection is or I learned a new word, introception. The meaning of interoception, I did pronounce it wrong just a second ago. It's intero, not interception, because interception is like in football when they intercept the ball. Interoception is about sensing the body. So when we start to sense that the body's getting tight and getting hot and getting upset, you can intercept that signal and go, wait, there's a trigger. There's a trigger here somewhere. And I want to uncover it. This is where life can get really exciting. I don't know. It gets really exciting for me because I all of a sudden turn the corner and I'm mad about something. I'm getting frustrated about something. I'm like, wait, there's a trigger here. It really turns a corner for me that kind of creates this level of excitement that's like, I'm about to uncover something about myself. Dude, this is where you can start to become the person that you want to become. You can start having the things that you want. You can start doing the things that you want to do. You can start creating a different environment. Okay? So, interoception, you start to figure it out inside. You start to feel tense. You start to feel your muscles start to tense up and you start to feel your heart beating and your brain is moving quickly and you're about to yell some obscenities out the window, right? Is then you go to introspection and you say, wait, you know what? There's a trigger here. And what's the statement? I'm really mad that I'm stuck in traffic. Why? Or because it's preventing me from getting the stuff done that I need to get done. Because if I get that stuff done, then I get to feel accomplished. Boom. Okay? I want to feel accomplished because it makes me what? It makes me feel, and don't say accomplished, it makes me feel joyous. It makes me feel connected. It makes me feel amazing. It makes me feel proud. Where in my life do I need to add more of that? Where in my life do I need to add more self-pride? In a good way. We should love ourselves. We should become our best friend. And if we're not our best friend, well, there's a bunch of self-love episodes I think you should listen to. Okay. When you get to the bottom of it, you get to the bottom of the trigger that says, okay, I'm frustrated because Cameron this and this, and it's about integrity and where am I not showing integrity in my business, or lazy people make me feel like they're wasting their life. Where am I wasting my life? Once you get to the bottom of the trigger, here's a couple of statements, and I want you to write this down. I am willing to release this trigger. And you say it out loud. So you can write it in your journal, but then I also want you to say it out loud. I am willing to release this trigger. Okay? I am open to releasing this trigger. As you do that, you get to let it go. Okay? You get to let go of the trigger. It's as simple as that. But if we go about our lives continuously shining our shadows on things that piss us off, you're never going to uncover the actual trigger. You just live a life of being pissed off. And being pissed off does not allow you to move to a space of gratitude, does not allow you to move to a space that you get to create the life you want. You just get mad all the time. And now you have a personality where people just like, whoa, stay away from her because she's just mad all the time. Stay away from him because he's just angry, right? So this is a way for you to get to the bottom of the trigger, uncover something about yourself, release the trigger, bring in something new that allows you to live a life of total empowerment and freedom. That's what I'm hoping this creates for you. If you need some support, please reach out. My Facebook groups and or my personal page, Jen Mac, JenMac. Send me a message, says that you're interested in my Rise Up group coaching program. I would love to uncover the trigger for you. If you enjoyed this show, please consider making a small donation. This helps me to continue creating powerful episodes for you each week, but also you become a bigger part of changing the world by changing yourself one episode at a time. By investing in my show, you are investing in yourself, your life, and your planet. And by elevating yourself, you are elevating others around you. And I thank you.